atmosphere. Latin, of course, is in the World Cup. You scored 5 goals in the World Cup, 12 appearances, and you can just feel the teaching almost over here.
Yeah, and also know the stadium very well. It is a daunting place to play. This place was packed 3 hours before the game. When we arrived at 7 a.m., there were thousands and thousands of people outside waiting to get in. Mexico has been waiting for this moment for a long time.
Making history today as the first country ever to be host on 3 occasions. And this is the biggest stadium officially now of this World Cup, holding 80,800, just 200 more than the MetLife near New York, which will stage the final, of course, in mid-July. But there are going to be many, many turns and twists in the road before then. South Africa, they did qualify ahead of Nigeria. That's worth remembering here. Nobody such win for the sins. Mexico being favourites. There's Raul Jimenez. There was been in the shadows of the World Cup really in the past. Keeps getting selected. Never in the starting lineup until now. And he's just announced, or has been announced, he's moving back to his old club, Wolverhampton Wanderers. Mexico in green. To Mexico as we expected, except perhaps Reyes getting an on right back ahead of Sanchez. Mexico really good form leading into this round. And then they played some decent opponents like Brazil, Portugal, and Ghana along the way.
Yeah, actually, part of that, they were in poor form. And there was a lot of dismay amongst the Mexican fans, the media. But they turned that around. Javier Diaz done a great job getting them confident and ready as we head into what will be the biggest moment in all of these players' career.
Suarez spreading the play to Vasquez, who plays in Italy for Genoa. It's an automatic pick for Mexico these days. Leo preferred to captain Alvarez. Alvarez is waiting to pick his 100 points for Mexico. We'll have to wait a bit longer. What an atmosphere.
I've been here a number of times, Ian. I've never seen it like this.
Here's Reyes for the Mexicans. Alvarado looking to skip inside. Players in the South African lineup. That club played at the Club World Cup in the United States last year and did pretty well as well, beating the Asian champions. Also, they lost 4-3 to Borussia Dortmund, drew with a good Brazilian side through Wednesday. So, South Africa are to be respected.
You know, interestingly, when you contrast tackle, there are a few things besides the team you're playing against that are against you. One is the altitude, 2 is small, 3 the crowd. South Africa, a lot of these players actually play in South Africa. And they play at altitude. They also been here for 10 days, so they are acclimated. That is not a big advantage. The other thing is South Africa actually like to have the ball. And they will do a good job of forcing Mexico out of their comfort zone. Mexico won't press. South Africa are okay having the ball and throwing the game a little bit better.
Inside. I just going wrong. South Africa, when Mexico had the ball, go to 5 at the back.
Certainly a foul line will be there. These are dangerous situations. And South Africa conceded a number of goals lately on corner kicks and set pieces. Mexico in their last game against Serbia before the World Cup scored a couple goals on set pieces, so this will be a big part of the game tonight.
foot of Alvarado, but who's the alternative? And it was Reyes, who wasn't that good.
It's a bit ambitious, trying to shoot from there.
Always so many lofty expectations surrounding Mexico. The best they've ever done is the two times they hosted the World Cup, 1970 and 1986. They got to the quarterfinals on both occasions. They look like Jimenez. Jimenez gets Robert Williams pressing each other to move, and now Jimmy did well.
Well, this all starts with Jimenez heading the ball wide, a good layup, and then he follows into the box. And this is a fantastic save from Williams to parry that line.
Really good hit by Jimenez. That was some save, particularly as the first thing you had to do in the game. Mexico pressing again, looking a little disorganized at the back. And they haven't managed to clear that again either. Possibly they could launch a break here. They're still expecting, maybe there's something, but they've got the last ball right there. That'll give them. Now Foster rather plucked his lines.
And here's the chance again. Watch Jimenez fall into the box. It's set up perfectly for him. He gets pretty good purchase on it. Not perfect, a little off the shin. But Williams does a fantastic job to push that line. And just a little warning sign there for Mexico. Be careful. South Africa on the break can be very dangerous. And they just got the last pass wrong, but it could have been a dangerous opportunity.
Yes, probably a bit. Alvarado. For the Burnley player. It would be understandable. Sort of.
I'm sure he's played in a lot of difficult environments, but nothing like this.
Fourth time in the World Cup for South Africa, yet to get beyond the group stage. Jimenez was recently the top scorer in the Saudi League with a last day hat-trick. Effectively, get the left hand side in Mexico. I think the crowd wanted a corner there. One of the new regulations and interpretations will be that the VAR can take a look, and if an attacking corner is given wrongly, it can be turned into a corner kick.
Well, it should work the other way, because I believe that was a corner kick, and that would have been a massive advantage for Mexico, yeah.
This was Gallardo. He's a quality performer in that position. Third World Cup and trying for Mexico for Javier Aguirre. Incidentally, he and his opposite number, Hugo, both played against each other in the 1986 World Cup. Sotelo was caught out there.
And the coach's decision to play Quiñones and not AD1N that side has paid off as well. Fantastic piece of work, by the way, by Eric Lira to win that ball off Sicole and set up the opportunity exactly the start Mexico wanted. What did South Africa do about that? They've been pretty much at 6s and 7s so far. Here's Jimenez again, but the referee's going to pull the play back. Missed his challenge there.
Well, a little scrappy for South Africa, obviously, but there's a little cat and mouse going on here. South Africa do want to play, and Mexico, with all the energy and all the momentum from the crowd, have come out pressing. A couple times South Africa broke the pressure, and it's put Mexico on their heels. But again, one thing you can't do, which Sotelo just did, is turn the ball over there, and Mexico feast off that. They're going to make them score the hard way. That was much too easy.
Hugo Boss, the head coach, has been in charge for 5 years. He will retire after this championship. And his biggest threat to slow down is South African side. The finals, they've not settled yet. Just have to watch the fans as Mexico have a great start for them. And don't forget the US opens its World Cup facing up against Paraguay tomorrow on Fox after the show at 6 p.m. Eastern, that's 3 p.m. Pacific. And I would imagine you know that the nation will be glued to that.
Absolutely.
John Strong is still holding on the floor. That US match.
I also think it's not too early to say, and South Africa have to be careful here. If you lose the game 1-0, you lose by a goal. It doesn't kill your hopes for the rest of the tournament, but you lose by 3, 4, 5. That can put you in a big hole, as goal differential could be a deciding factor as to which teams get through.
Another set piece to defend for the South Africans here. Jimenez was up for that one as well. Didn't quite get over to correct his header quality. He's used to it at the end for sure. President of FIFA, watching the left-hand side of the showpiece of the opening ceremony. Prince did the smack for them, still looking at very smart. Matchups, this one is still a very good goal. And then they're going to I'm surprised to see the starting line. To control that. They struggled in the build-up to this game, lost and drew with Panama at home, and then drew 0-0 with Nicaragua as well, and then a 1-1 draw behind closed doors with Jamaica. The coach wasn't really very amused with the way they played. So he will come into this with confidence not that high, and he's showing.
As we see a foul here against the AD1N, you know, part of the challenge, Ian, is they've broken Mexico a few times as Mexico's come to press, but then they want to go fast and try to hit the killer pass. What they need is to get into Mexico's end, not send the ball, and there's a replay of the goal. Thank you, Jonas.
That's the referee's view of the red down. This is a high-tech World Cup, you know. There are even avatars of the players generated by AI.
I never had that.
Yeah. I think South Africa needed to get through the first 20 minutes playing away from home in an atmosphere like this with a team of players who've never played in the World Cup before, none of them, but they conceded early, and really they did push the self-destruct button with that goal.
Yeah, Ian, across the world for the history of time, you say don't give them anything early. Let's make them earn it, and South Africa unfortunately gave Mexico a goal. Now they've got an uphill battle.
Here's Mark Wayner. Usually plays every minute in that midfield, a key player for them. He hasn't been able to get into it yet. Mamodiba. And the cross is easily cut out. And there's the first yellow card of this World Cup, and there can't really be too many complaints about it. It's Maguena who gets the yellow card.
Yeah, Mexico do a good job playing under pressure, and Fidalgo, good first touch, slides by Maguena. It's absolutely a yellow card.
South Africa nearly cost themselves qualification. They were deducted 3 points for playing Maguena when he was supposed to be banned against Lesotho. That got turned into a 3-0 defeat, but they made it to this World Cup anyway by the skin of their teeth on the last day. Modiba. And then Sandy places the cargo foul. And will be playing in the All-Star game. Mokwena.
And again, that's what I was talking about, Ian. They do a good job to break the initial line of pressure. You don't have to go fast. Get in Mexico's end, make them defend a little bit, and you can rest a little bit when you have the ball. It's just a little immaturity from South Africa.
I think they started off with looking for a sort of football equivalent of the hips when you get it going.
Well, you can't blame them, right? I mean, you come into this environment, you're playing the opening match of the World Cup. Mexico, by the way, are a very good team. It's not easy. But they're not making it any easier on themselves.
South Korea and Czechia also in this group. They play in Guadalajara tonight with coverage starting at 9 o'clock Eastern on Fox Sports 1. Czechia who have to come through the playoffs to make it battle hardened by that. Jackie Oakley and Warren Barton will be calling that match for you. It's going to be quite busy the next 5.5 weeks. There are quite a lot of games to be played. 72 in the group phase alone. 12 groups, top 2 go through, and the 8 best third places. Reyes to approval in the big Azteca crowd. I've been delighted with his Mexican start. Quiñones looking nice and sharp, fancy his chances. He's got a stack of goals in Saudi Arabia. Confidence high.
Well, the first touch was excellent, but he should have slid in Fidalgo there, who was running alongside that South African back line. Can't blame him for being a little selfish there after the first goal, but there could have been a big chance for Mexico.
There's Manuel Ochoa waiting to take part in what would be his 6th World Cup. That would also be true of Lionel Messi and Cristiano Ronaldo at this World Cup. But Ochoa in the past has been quite brilliant for Mexico on many occasions. He's 40 years old now, though. Mudal. Open. South Africa just trying to plot a pathway into this game somehow, and that's better for them. Mudal coming inside this track.
It was excellent again by South Africa, great pressure. But again, a link-up play after that. Got their lines crossed. And they now forced the foul there to stop the play.
With the heat of community expected, one of the new things at this World Cup will be a hydration break, and that will be coming up quite shortly. Jimenez again, getting the veterans to Kohli again. Jimenez with a little left. Mexico with a nice rhythm about their run. Alvarado lost the cutting as we stepped in the time. The officials are trying to make this World Cup one where the dark arts are pounced upon, the ball is in play more often. All that's to be applauded. Let's see how it plays out.
Recording? I'm live all the time, but don't worry about it.
Only records is really, mind you. He's not going out. Gutierrez, the latest to find his way into the book. Incidentally, second yellow cards will go to VAR. We just checked that the decision was spot on, so that somebody isn't sent off mistakenly.
You get a deal with this every day.
Unfortunately.
Smile.
Hello, everybody. Just had a big day. I know you'll never be satisfied, but that's okay. That doesn't bother me at all. We just made a great settlement of the war with Iran, and we're going to be subject to finalization of documents. We should get done over the next few days. We'll probably have a sign.
This World Cup do not want is any of the every skirmishing, which is somewhat hard. Football around the world in more recent times. But we get to the beginning,
So in this first one, I'm not going to talk. We're having a house party. All internet that keeps everyone. When the connection matters, it has to be AT&T. For the All-Stars.
What does it take to be the greatest of all time? It's getting everything and everyone better. Here's to the greatest of all time.
Algún radiador.
You don't believe in miracles?
Igual viene en camino. ¿Cómo está?
Welcome back. The players have taken their 3 minutes water break in London Garden. Ready to be again for the 2026 World Cup at the famous Azteca Stadium in Mexico City. And Mexico co-host leading South Africa by goal tonight.
And yeah, we were just saying during the hydration break, outside of giving away the goal, South Africa have been terrible with limited the chances. But they've only completed 3 passes in the final third, compared to Mexico's 16. So if they get here and they can complete some passes, they'll create some chances. They're going to find out a little bit when they go back or something.
We've gone to play with They've got 12 players in this squad. We'll take them to this is a well-defined atmosphere indeed for them. No doubt there are some favourites in the altitude of Mexico City. And as I understand you, some of them are training even higher than that at Pachuca. And of course, a lot of that is from Johannesburg, which is pretty high. So the altitude factor is not quite as good as it often is with the Mexicans. relatively laid back. Here he is again, the point first half, crowned by that goal. We've just got to be careful of a careless moment at the back, haven't we?
Yeah, it feels comfortable right now for Mexico, but I've seen it many times and been involved in many games, especially in World Cups, where one lapse of concentration and this game is 1-1.
It's going to keep on there. That's nice work. Gutierrez here. Is good work. The important block by Sitone. Brett from Mexico. Who in the past have often selected to deceive at World Cups. 7 times in a row they went out of a round of 16 and were out of the group stage last time. A little bit unlucky because they got 4 points. Nicely worked. And then Reyes with a cross, which is too near to Roman Williams. Williams is on Tottenham Hotspur's books as a kid. Made his career elsewhere. One of the many Mamelodi Sundown players in this squad. Vasquez with the header. Now Leon. If Mexico top this group, they could in theory stay in Mexico City or in Mexico itself. Whether they're put in the quarterfinals. If everything went to 4, they might play England here in the round of 16. But I think we're getting ahead of ourselves. Quite a lot ahead of ourselves. Mexican players like to give themselves nicknames to the fans. Montez is El Cachorro, the puppy. Don't ask me to explain. The other players could probably tell you. You didn't have a nickname, did you? I had a lot, but not appropriate for TV, not for broadcast, no.
Especially from the Mexican fans and players.
Well, you're getting considering all the goals you scored against Mexico, you're getting a very warm reception from the fans around here. Maybe they forgot.
I appreciate it.
It's Medina with a good-looking opportunity and not really taken. Because he's claiming there's a handball there.
I think he was offside as well. Yeah. Some of the linesman put his flag out. Yeah, just off. We've caught the Mexican fullbacks a couple times on either side with that kind of run, checking to it and then taking out behind. So that's what you need to be a little careful as they're pressing and trying to get a lot of pressure on the ball. That ball behind can be dangerous.
This opening game, a repeat of the 2010 goal at Soccer City in the Soweto. When South Africa went ahead with a quite brilliant goal from Sabiru Shabalala, who was the son of a Soweto taxi driver. Rafa Marquez equalised for Mexico after 79 minutes. Marquez was picked to become the next coach after Aguirre. For the Mexicans that time. Here's Monguena. Mando Kazi. Who scored a brilliant volley goal in one of the build-up matches against Panama to no his first errant pass of the first half. And I think we're past the stage fright stage now, aren't we? Trudy ball there. No German strike up on this.
Yeah, there have been some really good moments from South Africa. But their body language actually after the mistakes is really bad. They look like a team that's been struggling of late.
South Africa come up with this time. Here's Alvarado. He asked a bit too much of theirs, really. Otherwise, that could have easily been two.
And Williams did really well, but I thought Naomi was going to hit this first time. You see Jimenez behind the back line. Actually, I'd like to see one of the Mexican players run across the near post. Made it a little too easy for Williams.
Just at the feeling if this goes on, don't you? The Mexicans might just need the comfort blanket of a second goal. Tonight, by the way, the premiere of the FIFA World Cup 2026 After Hours show with James Corden on Fox at midnight local time. Mexican possession.
He's better than when he's a line higher like he is right now. Let the three center backs and the wing backs build, and then he can receive it here and face forward. He has to turn it out, he does, but he's better when he's a line higher, so we get another number in the attack.
Hoping that Jimenez could do something with that one, but Ocon beats him in the air. Ocon is one of the few European-based players with South Africa who plays in the second tour in Germany with Canada.
It's a little too easy through the Mexican back line. Foster just sneaking in between the two center backs. There's that dive down by Williams to his left. Again, a runner across the near post freezes Williams and doesn't allow him to guess and get down so easily.
First time, by the way, the South Africa have failed to have a shot in the opening half hour of a World Cup game. We've still got time to do something about this scoreline. Can be a bit hit and miss on that right-hand side, but the coach likes him. Hidalgo plays in Spain for Real Betis. Trying to build up, just a little laboured from Mexico, and the press. And the challenge on Leo means that possession is turned over. He wants a free kick for that. He's not getting it. Or is he?
Yeah, I think he is. The referee's blown the whistle late quite a few times here. This is really a needless challenge from South Africa. They had Deer under pressure after a poor first touch and could have got possession back.
It's so totally, isn't it, with the challenge? He does rather clatter into him. He did look at a free kick, you're right, Alan. Sun's come out. It's like a cloudy, rainy morning when we arrived. And as Alan was telling you, it was about 6, 7 o'clock in the morning, and the place was absolutely packed with kick-off, 6, 7 hours away. Traffic jams. Kingers from Mexico, Leo with the love. Here he is again. Gutierrez plays it wide. Not quite built on that good start, have they?
No, you know what's happened a bit to me is the field is drying out, but as the sun comes out, it gets harder and harder to play faster. So it feels like the ball's been stuck a few times under players' feet and not traveling as fast. And that actually hurts the Mexican team.
And this used to be a terrible surface in days of old, the Azteca. The one that Brazil won the World Cup in 1970 with Pelé and Tostão, Gerson, Jairzinho, Rivellina and the rest. Pretty bumpy. But what a performance they produced on it. Coming up with his half-time show on Fox. Yeah. Here to spread the play. Mudel's header, not that convincing. And he's again. His first ever World Cup goal by the goalkeeper, Williams. He's done that twice in his first half to deny Jimenez.
And this is so difficult for a goalkeeper because if Jimenez does redirect it, you've got to be ready to dive to your right. But you've also got to predict that he doesn't touch it and be ready to dive left. And Williams does both very well.
That might have been a tech goal for offside had he gone in. Because Williams wasn't to know that. Brilliant work from a long-time number one. Now they can Williams again. And he shots at the crowd. He does. He's blocked. He's come back out. And then against the he's come that close to 2-0. And he has been the big thorn in South Africa's side in this first half. Julian Quinones.
Well, I was just about to say how good he's been. Turns inside, gets the initial shot. The layoff here, you thought it was going to hit the back of the net. You see from the referee cam here, just off the woodwork. And South Africa dodged a bullet.
Quinones got 33 goals in 31 matches. For Al Khaleesi in Saudi Arabia, as I say, he was top goal scorer in the league with a hat-trick on the last day. And you've seen the kind of threat he can provide for Mexico here.
Every meaningful threat so far has come through him.
Reina's here. Ball just given away a little too easily in the forward area by South Africa as they do try to go. Fidalgo to pick it up in the middle of the pitch. Rabbi Ambokazi. Reyners. Mudial is wide right back. We will get the corner late on in the half. be just like football if after the half we've had and the near misses for Mexico apart from the goal, if South Africa were to come up with an equaliser, that's a tale as old as time. Back to McQueen again. Across the small bank, it's well defended by Mexico. A long-range effort from Emro Kazi can hit them, but that was on the optimistic side from what, best part of 40 yards. Seven times Mexico have featured in the opening game of the World Cup. They've never won any of them. They're definitely on course at the moment to change that. In fact, they were in the very first World Cup match ever played back in 1930, losing 4-1 to France.
You called that game, didn't you?
Yeah. I was already 50 then. It's 2 years staying behind. Just a question, I think, of what Hugo Plus can say or do at half-time to maybe get South Africa into this game a bit more.
I'm actually quite curious here because, again, this World Cup is different. We're going to hear this over and over. The 8 best third-place teams will advance to the knockout stage. So if you're South Africa, you don't have to go crazy trying to get a point out of it. Again, of course you won't. But it's much better losing 1 than 2 or 3 or 4-0. That could knock your hopes out there. So I'll be curious how aggressive they are in trying to get that second goal. We'll see that drop there in the first round.
Nobody wants to lose the first game of the World Cup. It usually spells trouble. Did it for Argentina 4 years ago, of course, when they lost to Saudi Arabia and ended up walking away with the trophy. There's exceptions to every rule. And 4 minutes of added time, the end of the half. And the heads with the left foot by Apple, took the back and shot, does, and didn't get hold of it. It was blocked anyway on the way through. And that only is 123rd cap today.
I'm also curious here if the Mexican fans are going to be content at 1-0. You hear a little bit of whistling when South Africa has the ball. They're certainly going to encourage their team to press and try to get the second and third.
Medina taking Alvarado, who tracked back. Now his defence here. Great kicking for decision. South Africa look a bit cheesed up about it. But I think it's right, isn't it, as well?
No. I think we're even now because there was one that should have gone Mexico's way earlier.
So they don't correct them if it's effective.
No, not at all. I'm not sure why they did that.
Just attacking corners that can be wiped out, as it were, if it wasn't the corner in the first place. Doesn't do well, doesn't he, Raul Jimenez?
Yeah, there's so much.
A bit unlucky not to be on the score sheet.
Yeah, also there's so much value in a striker like that. I mean, because yes, he does all the scoring, but if South Africa press, the pressure is too here. Next will happen. And he's really good at holding the ball and getting out of play. Well, Alvarado. Gutierrez and Gutierrez on the second side, yeah. Quinones again. It's just been so good. And you needed a little bit of composure. There are a number of things you could have done there. Drag it to your left, open your foot, and curl it inside the right post, roll it across to Raul Jimenez. But the one thing you can't do is let South Africa off the hook like that. And he knows it. Aguirre's not happy with that.
Yeah, he's seen it all in a very long coaching career. an amiable, unflashy coach, and it's definitely had Mexico moving in the right way in more recent times. They've won 3 of the last 4 CONCACAF trophies available to them. Now after a rough spell where USA were having the upper hand. And that is half time. 1 goal and other chances to improve for South Africa. But the star of the half is Quinones with the goal. Mexico leading South Africa on a goal to nil at half time. Analysis coming right up for you.
FIFA World Cup 2026 on Fox is sponsored by Ferrero. Go all in and score big with our match day treats.
In honor of America's 250th, Jeep and Captain America are saluting real captains of America. Who knows that Captain Weaver, Captain Portales, Captain Murray, Captain Anna, and all those who served our country.
You live, Captain? Brought my own.
Jeep, built for freedom, driven by heroes.
Raise a Rocher to the thrill of the game. The iconic taste of Ferrero Rocher, now in a square.
Buy any 2 Ferrero brands and you could win $1 million.
Early start here for Adams. Sensodyne, brilliant touch. Voltaire now with relief. And Tom's looking to counter-attack. It's fire! Every goal starts with an assist.
This is quite a game. It'll be a free kick.
Oh, what a goal! Unbridled joy and emotion overflows.
Things in life just belong together. Sundays and self-care. Every nanny needs its petty. So why choose between scent and softness? Dove Body Wash with 24-hour micro moisture gives you both.
New Balance, we look now. There's watching Mexico, and then there's experiencing Mexico with Platinum. Make your trip one to remember with the largest curated global hotel program. And at fine hotels and resorts, complimentary third night offers. And guaranteed 4 p.m. late checkout. Because you deserve a little extra stylish time. For a life like no other, you need a card like no other. There's nothing like Platinum.
The FIFA World Cup 2026 halftime show on Fox is presented by Visa.
The 2026 FIFA World Cup is off and running. Mexico leading South Africa 1-0 at the break. The lone goal courtesy of Quinones, the third of his international career. Let's show you the reaction of Mexico fans in various watch parties everywhere from LA to Houston, and let's take you to Guadalajara as well. How about that? Those are the images that we are all here for. Rebecca Lowe, Thierry Henry, Zlatan Ibrahimovic and Alexi Lalas with you. We're here in Los Angeles Stadium. A little quieter here, but tomorrow it won't be. The US are going to play their opening game. Gentlemen, let's have a look, shall we, at the first half down there in Mexico City. Salma Hayek from President of FIFA, Gianni Infantino, there with a trophy that is all about what happened, Thierry Henry.
The South African team trying to play out from the back. We're going to see here, obviously, William's going to set this one, but I didn't understand what they were trying to do, trying to play out from the back right from the start. I know you have an identity and your philosophy, and we see now the save of Williams, but they invited pressure too early in my liking, with Mexico putting pressure, as we're going to see here, Zlatan.
Then you have a situation where receiving the ball there, you need to be 200% in control, because if you miss the ball there, you get a consequence like this. And this is 1-0, beautiful goal for Mexico.
Yeah, look, it's good to know that the romance of playing out of the back is alive and well at the 2026 World Cup. South Africa, they can't create chances, they can't keep possession, they can't stop turning the ball over, and I guess the good news is that it could have been worse, because there were plenty of opportunities for Mexico to make it 2 and 3-0.
So 1-0, and then here's the chance at the hit post.
Yeah, number one, the same guy, Quiñones, being outstanding. We all know what he's been doing in Saudi Arabia. I couldn't find the net here, but he's been outstanding in the first half for Mexico.
Yeah, just the one goal in it. Now the other two teams in Group A later on tonight in Guadalajara. Son Heung-min set to lead South Korea against Czechia. Coverage of that one begins at 9 p.m. Eastern on FS1. Now the US in action, as I mentioned, tomorrow against Paraguay. The Americans counting on a big summer from Crystal Palace defender Chris Richards, and we're going to get you ready for that US opener when we come back.
The FIFA World Cup is back, America. And you know who always wins? Bandwagon fans, that's you. Howdy, partners. FIFA World Cup is here. Y'all in?
Soccer ain't really that thing.
I got barbecue legs. Yeah! Hey, Marshawn, hop on, buddy.
You know I'm more of a football dude.
You can call it that, too? Come on, man. I made you this.
Is that a leg?
A lay of weights. Yeah, looks good.
Hey, that's my legs like.
Get me back out! Jump on the bandwagon!
Do I look like a bandwagon fan?
Do you fancy salt and vinegar?
Why are you talking like that?
That's you! That's what you sound like! Come on! Who cares? Just pick another team!
Stay right, stay right.
Team in wrong side! If this ain't winning the FIFA World Cup, I don't know what is.
Please.
Yes.
You should use the active cash Visa credit card from Wells Fargo. Good call. How much to pay?
Earn unlimited 2% cash rewards on purchases. That's scoring up 2%. The active cash Visa credit card from Wells Fargo. Terms apply.
I think they gave me a yellow card once.
Is David's backyard ready for the FIFA World Cup? Maybe he'll build it like Beckham, paint it like Patricia, flip it like Rich, plant it like Paige,
Or watch it all happen just like Josh.
Very happy to help.
The talk show soccer never saw coming. The other football, only on Tubi.
As Washington, D.C.'s premier host for convention, sports, entertainment, and cultural events, having strong partners is essential. That's why we trust CareFirst Blue Cross Blue Shield as our partner. They provide exceptional health care coverage while standing with us in the community, giving back to the city we love. With a partner like CareFirst, our staff can bring the district's biggest moments to life.
The best new cars make the best used cars. So buy a Toyota certified used vehicle and find out just how far Toyota's reputation for legendary reliability can go. With protection from 2 factory-backed limited warranties, it's security, capability, and affordability. Only at your authorized Toyota dealer. Now get 4.99% financing on select certified used models. Toyota, let's go places.
Built for Monday.
Excuse Kelly, you guys haven't heard this stuff?
Born for Saturday.
how it should be. The Hyundai Santa Fe. Get 1.99% APR or up to $3,500 customer cash on a Santa Fe or lease for $319 a month. Visit your local Hyundai dealer today.
Mexico leads South Africa by a goal to nil thanks to Julian Quinones. Javier Guerrero's side are halfway towards picking up all 3 points in the opening match of the 2026 FIFA World Cup. I'm Jules Breach alongside Javier Hernandez and Peter Schmeichel here in Mexico City. When that goal went in, this place went wild. There was beer everywhere. Javier, how pleased are you with the start Mexico made?
Yeah, I was so pleased that the goal came before the 15-minute mark that we speak before the game. And as well, I want to point out that most of the goal is because Eric Luna. You know, apart that Citorne make a very bad decision turning around, the way that the holding midfielder from Mexico go and press the holding midfielder of South Africa was amazing. And then the composure of Quinones, like Thierry mentioned it, I think Quinones did a very good form of that really well done.
Looking ahead to the second half, Peter, what can South Africa do differently?
Well, the thing is, going 1-0 up so early in the game, I'm thinking 5-0. But then I think they've done really well, South Africa. And I think they need to believe a little bit more. They've had a couple of opportunities to counter. And they just, I mean, I hope the coach in the dressing room is telling them now, guys, there are opportunities here to counter this team. That's what they have to do.
Well, it will be absolutely massive if Mexico hold on to an opening victory here at the World Cup. Tomorrow, the United States will take centre stage. Christian Pulisic, Chris Richards and company are kicking off their campaign against Paraguay live on Fox. So here is the moment of the half, sponsored by Visa. You guessed it, it's the goal. Julian Quinones, who was born in Colombia but chose to represent Mexico with the opening goal at this World Cup, and fans of the Azteca are pretty happy about that. His 9th-minute strike has them ahead of South Africa. And this was the reaction to the goal at Zocalo Square in Mexico City. Incredible, the second 45 minutes from the opening match of the World Cup. This is coming up next.
This isn't the best seat in the house. This is. It's where you can watch Abuelita unleash your wrath. Where they don't kick you out after the game ends. Where you can get a second round without missing a second of the game. And where even the most bitter endings are followed by happy hours. A seat that any beer would love to have. But only the cerveza for football can. Modelo, the cerveza for football.
We practice this. Stick to the black. No improv, no theatrics. Just have the ball. These players are doing whatever they want all the time. We need to control it. I knew you, I didn't know your name. I don't think that's a good idea. Come on! 5 minutes. Going down the field. About 3. You had 1.
Man, can we leave?
Did you know salsa was invented when Puerto Ricans took Cuban rhythms to New York? Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu was born when the Japanese took judo to Brazil. When North African frying traditions met Spanish dough, Spain made the churro. After Jamaicans took their sound systems to the UK, the world got punk. And this is what the world gets when 48 nations meet to play one beautiful game.
Are you one of the millions surprised by rising prices? Well, AT&T just raised your rates. You have rights. Bring your phone to T-Mobile and they'll give you $400 when you switch. Plus, get T-Mobile's 5-year price guarantee on new experience plans. I guarantee you won't look back.
With Calci, you can make predictions on anything.
Predictions? I'm the special one. I see things before they happen. This shot of crossbar. Midfield crossing to heaven. You see him? On the way home, he will get caught in the rain, and then his girlfriend will leave him. but he keeps the ball.
Wednesday, July 15th, who will be the nation's dumbest?
Spell guarantee. G-A. Oh, it's G-U.
12 celebrities, that's cool. Nation's Dumbest premieres Wednesday, July 15th on Fox.
FIFA World Cup 2026 on Fox is presented by Blaze.
Let's have another look at it one more time. Julian Quiñones, after 9 minutes, the first goal of the 2026 FIFA World Cup. It put Mexico a goal up against South Africa. Great start for Mexico, and these are live shots coming to you from Mexico City Stadium. Thierry, Zlatan, Alexi were watching on that first half, and you were getting more angry, Thierry, and playing out in the back.
No, especially early doors when South Africa trying to they play the end of Mexico. The first 5-10 minutes, keep it quiet, play it long, and see where you can play on the other side, on the opposition side of the field, and they then fight the pressure from Mexico. But be careful, Mexico, because if you don't make it 2-0, if it stays like that, watch out.
Well, Zlatan, they'll be disappointed, Zlatan, won't they? Mexico, they're not 2-0 up.
I mean, they had great chances in the first half. Probably they get some more chances now because I don't see South Africa changing their game plan from building up from behind. If you don't succeed with that, change the game a little bit, like Thierry said, like put the longer ball until you feel your opponent, but they were stubborn with the right game play, and that's it.
Okay, more from the chat, so full time stay with us. Until then, it's back to the very capable hands of Landon Donovan alongside Ian Dark.
Thank you very much indeed, Rebecca. Some very interesting half-time chat, and I think the guys got it right. Looking at the way that the match is just set up, how are you seeing it from here, Landon?
I'm curious now, I said it before the break, how South Africa approach this psychologically. Do they go after it, or are they, it's weird to say, I know, but are they content to stay 1-0 and maybe sneak a goal somewhere? And from Mexico's standpoint, it's less about, honestly, what the players want in. Will this crowd allow them to just take their foot off the pedal? I don't think so.
We shall see. Mexico have only lost 1 of 11 World Cup games when they led at half-time. That was back in 1978 against Tunisia. Nearly brought out there. Hidalgo here. He's got an opportunity. He gets it right. Mira wanted that, and he was in space. If that had been pulled back to him. Oh, no. Howitzer from Gutierrez.
What are South Africa doing? You're a minute into the half. And boy, did they get lucky. Multiple chances here for Mexico. This one just taken a little too early from Gutierrez. I have no idea what Williams is doing there. After a phenomenal first half, he nearly ended the game there.
As the ref cam, you can see how fast the game is. It's good to just see the odd little cameo from that particular camera. You get an idea of how quick the decision making has to be at this exalted level of the game. Hidalgo again is a bit of a pass picker in the midfield, and I think every team needs one of those.
God, that was a big chance in for Mexico to go 2-0 up, and probably should have done a little better.
Lira had done really well coming from his defensive midfield position. He was waiting in space, and the ball just wasn't pulled back to him, so that was a really big opportunity for Mexico to give themselves some clear water. Just to check on the teams. Going through there were no changes that we could see at half-time. What a sight that is for the players to be playing in an arena like this. It opened in 1966 with a game against Tottenham Hotspur. Quiñones has gone on again here. He's seen the goalkeeper off his line and tried his luck. That's how big his confidence is at the moment.
Oh, he is loving it right now. Danced through a few South African players. Ambitious, yes, but I can't blame him right now.
Every World Cup you get a few breakout stars. Players nobody was talking about beforehand, that everybody's talking about a couple of weeks in. And she's one of the many attractive propositions as Alvarado latches onto the ball here for Mexico. South Africa is they just look a little porous at the back. And they're making mistakes. They're deep for the goal. Really Foster again. Foster dispossessed. And they're looking for a moment of inspiration from somebody.
This game has opened up quite a bit to start the second half. I was not expecting to see that. Mexico might just put their foot on the ball a little bit here and calm down.
Don't forget the United States. It's not their campaign tomorrow. It's tomorrow. I'll give you more details about that. It's breaking down.
The only question here is going to be if he was onside or not. At first glance, it was very tight. But it looks like Satole is going to be shown the door.
It will be looked at, of course, by VAR. Maybe we can call Mark Clattenburg, our refereeing expert, in here. Mark, what do you think?
Yeah, of course the VAR needs to check the offside initially, but it looks like it was onside. I think the defender actually cleared him on. Now the question is, was it inside or outside? The referee was in a good position. He can clearly see that the contact was outside. And once he gets it outside, it's not a genuine attempt to clear the ball. And therefore, because it's outside, it will always be given as a red card for denying of an obvious scored opportunity.
Yeah, look like that. I don't see that being reversed. Look at that.
There's a rugby tackle.
Yaya Satole. Your famous name, Yaya Toure. But it looks like his World Cup debut is not hanging a red card here. It's just all being checked.
Tomorrow the same.
Jimenez running to the wall. Back to Gutierrez, and then is sliced into well, Morgan's
This is easy. Yeah, this is good job by South Africa, by the way. Keep their wall tight. Two blockers did their job. And now it gets really interesting. Mexico are going to have all the possession the rest of the way. South Africa again to be holding on for dear life.
They got it back from where it was here anyway.
I've learned.
School of London Donovan. Two countries separated by the same language. Gutierrez again, he's pretty bright, isn't he? Got a good challenge at that time. The mountain just got a heck of a lot steeper for South Africa. Mathematics in these groups, 12 groups, top 2 through, 8 best places, you still could make it as long as you don't take a hammering in the first game. So maybe damage limitation might be part of South Africa's ploy from this point, but we shall see.
They're certainly downplaying now. They have to think about that. And I wouldn't be surprised if Hugo Broos makes some sort of substitution quickly here.
Yeah, you need to. That was the third South African red card in various World Cup campaigns.
This feels like a game now for Hudek tomorrow to come into. A great way to introduce the 17-year-old other man. Not a lot of pressure, can go be creative and make plays, which they're going to need to do if South Africa sitting now.
Never talk about Gilberto Moura. He was really good in the World Cup last summer, a breakout star. I think he's been carrying a little bit of injury, not much of one, so I'm told. He's a real talent. Not really to start this game, but he still might have a pretty big part to play in this World Cup. Kind of hope so.
Yeah, a lot of times when you go up a player, up a man, a lot of coaches decide to just keep things as is. I was always of the opinion you need to make changes too, because the game is completely different now. Of course, South Africa will be thinking about that defensively, but from an attacking standpoint, Mexico should too. Don't win this game.
And South Africa on the attack, which has been something of a rarity in the game so far. Is Medina wants to really forward from left back usually, but there have been a few chances to do that. And this is Mexico's maybe letting in very few goals today. It should be said they do look a pretty well organised outfit, which is handy always. But there is Medina. Handling from young Harrow did make you kind of wonder for a moment.
I'd like to hear from Peter Schmeichel on this. My goalkeeper Tim Howard used to say too, the ball's moving like that and at altitude, it gets there a lot faster. And it's challenging and it's certainly tested on Howard.
If you understand the QR code on the screen, to go for the Michelin Ultra Superior Player of the Match. I think I know who the leading contender might be so far. It's pretty obvious, but yeah. Why was it? She needed the viewers on that. Doing it. But here's a change. Midfield back and back down. So come on.
Yeah, again, that was predictable. And then, again, if I'm Javier Aguirre, don't be too conservative here. We're trying to get the second, third goals over here.
And because he missed out there, here's Jimenez. Jimenez was able to freshen up a good deal for this World Cup because he wasn't in the full team that often on the run into the season. Of course, the Mexican team have been together since about May the 6th, I understand. A very long camp indeed. None of the players were allowed to play in the playoffs at the end of the season. They were told if they did, they wouldn't be in the World Cup squad. So Mexico are taking this very seriously. As they should, of course.
Yeah, obviously it's difficult for the clubs, right? And they hate it, but you have to take a big picture view of this. This is a massive opportunity, as it is for the U.S. and Canada, to show really well on home soil.
pushing and shoving ahead of these set pieces. It's picked on by Reynolds, and well defended that time by Ocon. The fact of the matter is so far though, Landon, South Africa have never seriously got into this contest. By the way, the white dashes you can see under the scoreline there are how many substitutes the two teams have left. Mexico, all 5. South Africa, 4. Just see it under the names. It's going to look quite high. They're going to win this World Cup for the first time. They will be a round of 32, so a treat of knockout football in the later stages to look forward to. You and I were looking at it earlier, Landon. If Mexico can second this group and USA are second in their group, they'll play each other. So that's up. 2A, 2B. It's written there in the round of 32, but of course both teams are hoping to drop their group. And Mexico need the right kind of start. Still looking for that second goal here. Quinones with a deep ball. See what the idea was?
Yeah, you can see the development to overrun with a good late run. Again, patience will help Mexico just pulling South Africa apart, and one just got away from Quinones a little bit.
Talking of the USA, and game against Paraguay, which has been spoken about for so long now. That's live tomorrow on Fox with coverage showing at 6 p.m. Eastern Time, 3 p.m. on the West Coast Pacific Time. Think they'll win, Landon?
I do think they'll win. I was at the final friendly against Germany on Saturday. I know they lost. I was encouraged, and I see what the crowd here is doing for this Mexico team, and I expect the same tomorrow night for our U.S. team.
I'm looking forward to that game. I think if the USA do win, that might spread a little bit of football further around the nation. You hope so?
Absolutely, yeah.
That should happen. I remember when you scored that goal in 2010. After that, there were stories of people getting off work early in Wall Street to go around and watch the matches.
I apologize to the bosses.
See you later. Substitution here, experience playing with Zwane, and it's going to be introduced in the place of Jake Mullins, who's another honestly really got into his mind. Zwane is an old campaigner, Manuela's stand-out player, his 56 cap here today. When he's raised to be fit, and a player who can influence the game, so I think he's been brought up with the idea of getting possession further forward and making something happen. See if he can. 36 now.
Let's be honest, Ian, I'm a bit disappointed with the way Mexico have approached this since the red card. It's a little too casual. They feel like the game's over, maybe, but all it takes is one moment, and I'd like to see them go get the second and third goal. And you can hear it a bit from the crowd too. They're not happy about this.
And they were 1-0. This will go for the challenge on Miguel. Quinones pleads his innocence.
Stays quite high in there. Light touch, but certainly a foul.
Nothing to make a big drama out of, really. Nobody He's trying in fairness. Showbiz. Mexico scored a great goal against Saudi Arabia at the last World Cup. The opening man says, "Not great, here we go." Come on, in the middle of the pitch. They didn't hope in South Africa here. Has to come across, but it's really close to the problem for them. Half-hearted penalty it was. Usually the streets pretty packed with traffic around Mexico City. I would say at the moment they are deserted. Everybody is hooked on this game. And that, I think, delightfully is one of the great things about the World Cup. And all 48 nations, they're come to a standstill when their teams are playing. And I would say, you know, those people watching are not happy right now. I'm not hearing blue screen from, yeah, look at it. And looking at what's just that can happen sometimes with this one of the same perhaps just after halftime. I was saying, well, the crowd allowed them to take it for that thing. They won't. Nor should they. You never know what can happen, and goal differential matters in all hits. Being up a player at home for 45 minutes here, it has to be better than this. And just a feeling that rather sitting on the lead at the moment. Lost the ball, saved a few times, Gutierrez, clever little ball to Gallardo, come back as the inverted fullback there from left back, coming up in the inside left channel. Modern coaches love that tactic. .65 gone, Mexico 1, South Africa 0. Two more changes, Luis Showbiz, I mentioned to you. And also, Gilberto Mora, this is what the crowd wanted to see, the 17-year-old who is the youngest player on this World Cup. I think he come on and liven up Mexico a little more. Yeah, it's what should happen and would happen. It's a perfect type of game for him. He's a player who could give Mexico a little of the X factor they might need if they want to go deep in this World Cup. Here's Lira. He's going to be different. Good for Edson Alvarez to get back in the side. Lira seems to have taken over that role. Jimenez does what his Jimenez again. Alvarado's crossing! It's Ramos! The World Cup goal at last! Starts with Raul Jimenez, through that man Quinones again. Jimenez follows his run into the box. Easy header for him. And you can see what it means to him. Tears all around. Could not be happier for him. 2-0 Mexico. Soaked in tears, Raul Jimenez. This is the player whose life was in danger after he fractured his skull playing for Wolves against Arsenal a few years ago. He's come back from that. Here he is starting for the first time in the World Cup and scoring as well. And that leads to the hydration break. Power keeping power.
How could you not love this game?
Fans are happy again. Really happy. Mexico are on their way in this World Cup. That's for sure.
You're probably wondering how I ended up here. It all started when I got to the FIFA World Cup, and wow, thousands of arrivals. Hey, that's a pre-raising ticket still? No, I'm with amazing seats. I'm sorry. Okay, I need inside access. So are you? David Beckham, third rows and first row. This used to be the plan. Now it's the rising distance. No one gets you closer than the rising.
What would you like to follow with you? Your passion for this game opens opportunities. For them? For our local businesses? For the community? Because our local businesses thrive, the community also thrives. Bank of America champions everyone who dares to ask, what would you like the power to do? Okay, buckle up. We're going to a game. 3-on-3. No referee, no rules. 2 rules. Exactly. Who you play? A local crew. Hi, this local crew, they've been watching since 1996. That's when people stay started. They beat everyone who showed up. Kids, bigger kids, the Tigers, even the Bruisers. Anyone, anytime. 3 inspirations. Keep their power. But this crew took them down. Everybody knows. J'ai entendu dire que c'était une sorte de magie. C'est cher. Jamais. Wow, it's all true. She's up next.
Welcome back, South Africa. Do you know how the danger here is turning into damaging defence? That average straight power for you. 20 minutes remaining, and South Africa down to 10 players after the red card for Yaya Sitole. It's 1994, and they were beat by Norway. Incidentally, I got my Group Bs and Group Ds mixed up with the USA Mexico World Cup West. Okay, that's fine, as I said. I think it's called like a full scrum, isn't it? You get the pass out, you're there. It's a great ball. Jimenez again, Jack's starting to appear again. Jimenez, but the flag's going up here. A bit late to do. Of course, that's another thing at this World Cup. They've got a wristband going at the referee's assistants, and it will vibrate those offside if players even 10 centimetres offside. So that will stop the delayed flags in theory. Must be happy, mustn't he? Happy at the year 8, 67 years of age now. Said a lot of good things at his press conference yesterday. These players have a chance to really work themselves into football folklore. Jimenez has got another opportunity. Just the referee. He was right from the scene, to be fair, and made an instant decision. Jimenez stays down.
Well, this is a tough one. Jimenez does a good job to keep himself on side, and I don't think they can get a penalty for this. Certainly a lot of contact, but it's a
field there, though. Let's call him Mark down. What did you think, Mark?
Yeah, it looks like the defender's going to go in with his shoulder, and I think the attacker then turns his body to make it look like it's shoulder to body. But I think there's two players committed to the ball, and they always correct not to recommend any other decision other than the referee's decision.
Yeah. Thank you, Mark. Secretary Manager, penalty awarded.
Hi guys, welcome back.
The yellow card. Awarded for Showbiz this time. He's much involved in the action.
I figured you got away with the last one, a little bit. At least earning another part if you're going to do it. And the frustration's starting to show now for South Africa. They need to be careful and said it over and over, but cannot let this get away from you.
There was a high elbow that the referee didn't like there. Mexico to rub salt in the wounds here. Pushing the ball around with sudden confidence. Quinones. Broken up by Ocon. They give the ball away. What a challenge for Emma that was. You need a lot more free kick to South Africa. Later tonight, it is true on Fox Sport 1, South Korea and Czechia facing off in Guadalajara. Coverage starting at 9 o'clock Eastern Time on Fox Sports 1. Two more changes coming up for South Africa. The winning Oswin Apollos is one of those to be introduced, and evidence Makopa, who did score in the Afghan Championships too late against Cameroon. And Franzetta Alvarez, the captain who was 100th cap. The fans know that this as well, giving a big round of applause. Like Swiss and Jimenez makes way to Rangers off and Oliva off. And that play for those two South African substitutes. So they've got lines underneath the scoreline denoting how many substitutes are left for the coaches, and it's the premium amount now, of course. But this is the perfect start for Mexico in well, sacred home of the Azteca. They've only ever lost 2 competitive games here. And you know how tough it is to play here, Landon.
When they're playing well, in the altitude, and you're chasing the ball, and the crowd's behind, it just feels like a battle you can't win, and you see that in South Africa today. They had some moments of optimism, but in the end, the quality came through from Mexico. And now the question is, how bad will it get for South Africa, and how good will it get for Mexico?
And with a win here, they'll feel they already have 1 foot in the knockout rounds. so there's plenty of chances down there. Quinones gets a big round of applause. He's still scored if he's playing in the post as well. And that's his third now. He's on course to be the scratch on the left-hand side. Comes on the place.
Well, it's pretty clear now who's going to start in. Quinones is the best player in that field today. And as you said earlier, Mexico continue like this, and he continues like this. He could be one of the breakout stars of this tournament.
He's not playing that. Great high press is going on. Sometimes you need people walk down, but this time the referee pulls it back. Good work by Mora. He was a bit disappointed. The referee blew his whistle there.
That's a really poor call.
Yeah. Mora did nothing wrong. There's that press again. And then now the police South African players are not that good playing out from the back. Around the world try to copy it. Not every team's got the players to pull it off.
Well, that's the problem, Ian, is very few can do it at that level. And South Africa put themselves in a hole early, and nearly at the beginning of the second half, made the ball even deeper.
There's a Hollis. Callums was right for goal, decent shot, right? Makes an immediate impact. A lot of people thought he might make the starting round, now he didn't.
Well, there are two problems here. Alvarado down. And I think it might be Vega also, who stretched to block that. There you see Alvarado getting run into the Botswana. I think the big issue right now is Vega, who just came on the field.
It's not his own head. Never ever see players injured with the World Cup. There's such a panic on the players who is heartbroken for those guys who miss out with an injury and training just before the championships, which unfortunately does happen.
Apologies, I don't know, that wasn't Vega, it may have been Reyes. Either way, that's both are okay.
Gonzalez. There's for Chivas. Look at we get Max. Last 10 minutes here. Referee coming across to just check on something here.
Yeah, it was the play here against Reyes, and that's why he was down. Or not Reyes, sorry, Alvarado. Or a little bit of a left hand there to the face. This could get worse for South Africa. Yeah.
There, off the ball. One, I think it is.
Yeah, I think he might get set up there.
Let's bring him back to on this.
Yeah, what the referee has to look at is the act violent and malicious? Because what you do see is the arm is just clenched. As he goes past his opponent, and then he makes a secondary resolve towards his opponent's fist. And I wouldn't be surprised if this is a violent act and a red card to be issued.
Consultations taking place, and we're going to get to the referee's decision straight away. This could get a lot worse for South Africa. Just 9 players, and 9 day for them. interpretation of what he saw there. That's why the veteran playmaker has to go. Agree with that, London?
I do. You could see the intent as he swam by Alvarado. Just gives him that last slap really in the face, and you just can't get away with that anymore. Cameras everywhere. Have to be smarter than that.
And then they went on. Tonight, the premiere of World Cup 2026 After Hours with James Corden on Fox at midnight local. There you go. So this is challenge. Nothing wrong with that. The Black Paper was kind of looking for it, really, to be honest with you. Closing stages here of the opening game. There are always talking points, and the two red crowds will be two of the biggest here. Not much doubt about the first one. The second one, probably a little bit more arguable. And with London, he's given the referee a decision to make with that.
And this has all been self-inflicted by South Africa. The first goal given away to the two red cards. Falling asleep on the first red card and having to drop down a player. They're going to have to regroup quickly because they're a big home now. And they absolutely need something out of the second match.
Second game for them against Churchill in Atlanta. And on the 18th, Mexico plays South Korea and Guadalajara next. Good break between the fixtures for the players to refresh, refocus. Mexico's mood will only brighten. And they keep 9 games unbeaten now in all competitions. But forget the friendlies, this is the one that matters. Vasquez, bit of an armchair ride back there for those defenders today. Luis Chavez. Now that's his favourite. Gallardo for the inside. Miller, down a bit of space. Going into the goal. The 17-year-old, you can sense it every time he gets the ball. Already a big favourite of the Mexican fans. There's no way of wrapping this up. South Africa have been poor today, London.
Yeah, they have it. It's resembling of their form coming into the game. You see here, yeah, you can see the left arm there. It's one leg. It's been reminiscent of their form coming into the tournament. And they've had some moments where they could have taken advantage of the Mexican defense. And yeah, as you said, they just been too poor.
The other teams in this group will see South Africa now as a chance to clock 3 points. And of course, those two players who've got the red card will be suspended for the next game. This doesn't help. Mexico can just break equal really here now. Okay now after that 11-7. Manuel Gonzalez stayed down. But he got a free kick, it's going the other way. even before the game, I might be reading too much into this, I was watching South Africa warm up, and they looked a bit frank during that as well, not like a team about to play an exciting game like the World Cup. And I think that has been reflected in the performance here.
Yeah, I said earlier on in the game, their body language was poor as well. The ball would turn over, a bad pass, and players were quite disappointed, throwing their arms up, and they don't look like a good collective team right now.
It's Alvarez. He's the header. He's the captain of the team, even though he was left out of the 11. There's no sentiment when it comes to selection. The coach picks the 11 players he thinks can do the job, and you have to say he got that right. By the way, Raul Jimenez with his goal moved equal in the all-time Mexican scoring list with Jared Borghetti, who scored at the World Cup himself, level on 46 goals. And of course, Chicharito, who's with us today, good to see him, still leads the way.
He'll be a happy guy today, Ian.
52 for him. So popular around here, he needs to disguise, I think. Luis Chavez. They're very relaxed. Mexico, likewise, their huge support here. Well, it's been a sea of green, the Azteca. Correction, the whole city's been a sea of green. Gonzalez lays it back. Against 9 men here, they can just keep passing the football. Always somebody free. Piece of cake. There you go. I'm going to get in on the scoring act. A World Cup goal is a World Cup goal after all. Ludau here needs a bit of support. Taken out with that Montez, and that's got to be a card. What are they protesting about, the Mexican players? There's absolutely no case at all.
Although I did see the referee go to his back pocket initially. Oh, wow. 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 That's what they were protesting.
Cesar Montez, red card. Let's bring Mark in again on that. What did you see there, Mark?
First of all, what it has to be is it has to be a goal scoring opportunity. And what three elements that the referee's looking at is the position of the ball. Does the attacker have control over the ball? Yes, he does. Is the ball going towards the goal? There could be a slight doubt because it does change slightly direction. But when you look at the replay again, that attacker can easily get onto the ball and be one-on-one with the goalkeeper. And there's no cover defender. So I can understand why the referees did that. And it's split opinions because the ball does slightly change direction. But I believe that this attacker could easily got on to the end of that ball and have a one-on-one with the goalkeeper. So I believe the referee was right to commission for the card.
You think it was a clear scoring opportunity, Mark?
Does the attacker control the ball? Is there any covering the defenders? The way the angle of the ball changes direction. The angle of the ball doesn't change the approach to raise the ball. The attack, it's very easy to get onto the ball and have a long chance with the ball.
That's a great time.
I gotta say, I have a good friend Tim Bauer who's one of the goalkeepers and always protects the half feels a bit like this referee. That's a hard strike. I can't see that coming right now.
He's like the games will differ. He's right, he is a different well, look, he knows the image together. He's a little bit straight at the top level.
I just say, I play a lot of games. I've never seen that. I'm not arguing about that.
He knows what he's doing. That very definitely wasn't a scoring opportunity because they missed on the free kick. Well, who'd have thought it? And is that an indication that the referees are certainly not going to be shy and probably fairly hard line in their approach to things at this World Cup? We'll see.
Well, this referee, the Brazilian referee is known for being pretty strict. And so you got to know that coming into the game as well. But again, I just feel that's harsh. That did not look like a red card to me.
Is that Dopa for South Africa? Apologies. And then not going out. After everything that's happened, South Africa might almost take 2-0 and hope they can repair the damage somewhere else. Playing 9 players, Mexico 2, I think second for this scoreline. Looks like that anyway, unless they give them another one in what is it, 7 minutes added time.
Yeah, there might be a bit more on that too.
The first opening match ever at the World Cup with 3 red cards. I'm unsurprised to learn that. Easy. The problem is Martin is now confident challenging the penalty earlier on. I think they got that wrong and waving away the penalty appeal. So that's Montez out of the next game. For Mexico, they might give a chance for Alvarez to come into the starting line. Maybe he's at the back. Yeah. Do that occasionally. Clock ticks around 96th minute. We're nearly done here. The World Cup is up and underway. Make no mistake, there will be shots along the way. There always are. Hey, there were shots in the qualifying tournament. Italy aren't here again. Chase this down. He's got Gonzalez waiting in the middle for a cross. One of the highest quality cross. And here's Apolis for South Africa. The game very stretched now. Mudau. Thought he was taken out. Referee let that go. Still down. And in pain. It's a long way back from where South Africa are right now in this World Cup.
Well, I guess we'll find out, Ian, right? You were discussing this earlier. Can 3 points get you through as a third-place team, potentially? Certainly 4 you think would do it, but you never know.
The referee's playing for time. Again with 3 red cards, but crucially 2 goals for Mexico to get them up to a winning start. The first time they've ever won a World Cup opener. Quinones and then Jimenez. 3 points Mexico. Now a heap of trouble for South Africa. Let's get it back to Rebecca Lowe in Los Angeles.
That's right, Susan. It is very hot out here. And
thanks to Ian Dark and to Landon Donovan. The Group A standings then. What a start for Mexico. Top of Group A, of course. 3 points on the board. 2 goals scored. South Africa starting their campaign off with a defeat. It can take you back onto the field in Mexico. What a way to start. The first time, by the way, in 20 years the team has had 3 red cards in a World Cup match. Lost at the World Cup in 2006. So let's see how it starts out here. Portugal, and let's see if it comes to you first. As expected from Mexico in the end.
This was a poor South Africa performance. Whether they had 11 men, 10 men, or 9 men, just not a good opponent. From a Mexico perspective, this is exactly what they got for. It gets you win, it gets you 3 points, you get a point, and everybody says,
And it was an interesting first game. We had more red cards than goals. I mean, that's is the truth. And but I'm happy for Mexico. First game on home field, and we get the 2 goals. After the first red goal, I saw them a little bit defensive, but then they got the moment right.
And what a moment for this man today. Jimenez with that second goal, and that really moved you right here.
Why? Because first and foremost, I remember the incident we got in this at the end, as I'm sure you remember, when everyone thought that Eddie's career was over. He came back, but I'm sure while he was celebrating his goal, he must have been thinking of his dad. His dad, because I looked at him and he was looking at the boxes and the box, and maybe he must have realized that his dad wasn't sitting there to see, to witness him scoring at the World Cup at the start yesterday, which I think really very proud. And so I think we can be audience, we're talking about emotion. We already have a massive emotional moment in this tournament, in this tournament. So.
Jimenez's dad, Jimenez, was just 62 when he died just 3 months ago. The son, Jimenez, struggled with that course while playing the Premier League in England. He was struggling with that as well.
Some of that pressure and the nerves. You get the first one done. Now you kick on from there.
Okay, gentlemen, while Raul Jimenez is amongst the scorers today, it's the 46th of his international career. He is now just 6 behind Javier Hernandez for the Mexico record. Tomorrow the US will take centre stage. The Americans kicking off their campaign against Paraguay. We're going to get you ready for that one. Plus more reaction to Mexico's win when we come back.
Carl looks like he can eat.
He's a machine. This is why I'm a long request number. Groceries delivered for you today.
You guys see what I'm saying?